Hey everyone, welcome back to John's Watch. Today I'm taking a look at a new game called Graveyard Keeper. Now this game was just released today, August 15th, 2018. Trigger price is $19.99 US or your regional equivalent. You can see down at the bottom there, it is developed by Lazy Bear Games, who also did Punch Club, and published by Tiny Build. So I first heard about this game a few months ago. I know it went into alpha, I think it was a closed alpha a while ago. But I knew it was coming to Steam in August, so I decided to hold off on playing the alpha and just wait and bide my time until it came into full release, version 1, which it is right now. If you haven't heard about Graveyard Keeper, it was kind of described as like a very morbid kind of Stardew Valley kind of thing. You play as a graveyard keeper, you have to deal with things like corpses, and you have to run a little graveyard and stuff like that, and it sounded fantastic. So I've actually played about 3 to 4 hours of the game, just to kind of get a feel for it. So let's hop into this one. I've played 40 in-game days, which is crazy. Okay, here we are in my little house. Just to start, if you're just interested in the very short form review, I don't like this game. I was really expecting to love it, and it suffers from the exact same problem that Punch Club suffered from, where it starts off incredibly fun, you know, kind of challenging, but pretty fun, and then the fun just kind of decreases while the difficulty keeps going up until, you know, you're a few hours in, you realize, why am I playing this game? I'm not having fun. This is just work at this point. So hopefully we'll get to show off some of that. Okay, so this is my little graveyard house. This is the yard where you have to build all these little machines. Looks like we're suffering from a little bit of lag occasionally. It's also very poorly optimized, funnily enough. If we turn on the stats up there, you can see, geez, look at that average FPS. Oh, look at those frame drops as well. Oh boy. Okay, turning on VSync might have helped. Nope, we still get those frame drops. Okay, well, I think that just happens because I'm recording, so there's nothing I can do about that. But yeah, it's very poorly optimized. There's lots of frame drops in the game, so I'm just gonna have to deal with that in the video. But basically, this is the yard. You have to build all your tool stations, crafting stations. This is a log pile. We've got all these logs there. It's a stone pile. We have to craft these things like a sawhorse. We've got a little wooden anvil here. We've got a furnace, a carpenter's workbench, a little mill kind of thing, a grindstone, and a chopping spot. And there's still more crafting stations to get at some point. Okay, this is going to be a pretty busy video. I stopped off at this day in particular. Yes, these represent days. There's no handy day system that everybody else is used to, like Stardew Valley. You've got these obscure little icons that you have to learn. Otherwise, you're really going to struggle. It's not totally obvious, but the one at the bottom is the current day. It did take me probably about an hour to work that out. So it's quite difficult. This review is going to be all over the place, I think, because there's like a couple of things I wanted to get done in the video. So the first thing, I've been waiting for this day, whatever that day is. Look at those frame drops. That's beautiful. I guess while I'm walking through town, I'll show off the map. So this is my home. That's our graveyard. We'll show that off at some point. Come along here, through the wheat farm into the village, and I am actually heading on over to the lighthouse. So it's a pretty big map actually. For some reason, a lot of it's still covered up. Like, I've explored way over here and it's still covered up. So I don't know what that's all about. But I need to get over to the lighthouse real quick. Like, it's a shame to say I don't enjoy the game, because there is so much depth to it. And, like, depth in a game can absolutely be a good thing. Like, look at Stardew, such an incredibly deep game, but still fun all the time. This just doesn't have the fun. So I've been waiting for this astrologer to show up. Hello. Are you the astrologer? I used to be, now I'm more of a lost soul in this dead-end world. I'm the new graveyard keeper, and seems I need your help. Everyone needs something except me. Knowledge brings only sadness, young man. You seem pretty happy. Your trivial needs are meaningless to me. So there's no way you can help me? Let me see, you're looking after the graveyard. Yes. Psst, quiet. Bring me a skull, it's pretty illegal, but who cares about that stupid Inquisitor's law? So I already have a skull. I played the first 2 hours or so without the wiki, and then I finally decided this game is impossible without the wiki, and it really is. Like, there's so many things that just do not make sense, especially when you're just starting out. There's a few tutorials, but it misses a lot of stuff, so definitely recommend playing along with the wiki if you do get it. So I knew that I needed a skull, so I've already got one of those. So that brings him up to like 10 friendship with us. Okay, he just gave me this key that I do need. So I have to go to the study table in the church cellar, okay. Hopefully that's what I need. So like this is just one part of the game, just doing all these quests. If we press tab, we go to known NPCs. It has a list of all the NPCs and it shows like their little tasks for them. So this is me. But Jerry, this talking skull, we need to get him a bottle of wine. The Inquisitor, we have to bring 20 firewood and 10 flyers for a witch burning. Get his permission to unlock the western side of the graveyard. So there's loads of these things. Quite a lot of NPCs in here. I guess while we're in the menu, we'll go to the character tab. This is us, it's basically just our inventory and our perks, which are too complicated to go into. And then we'll go to the tech tree, which is actually really cool. The tech tree is very, very good. There's different tech trees for every part of the game. So this is like, because we're a graveyard keeper, we deal with corpses. This is us dealing with corpses tech tree. This is the religion tech tree, writing, farming, smithing, building, and cookery. There is a lot to this game. Let's go back to this one. You can see we've got these things, these points over here. Whenever you do certain actions in the game, you get either red, green, or blue points. I've got a lot of them right now. And you just use those to unlock things in the tech tree. So this gentle butcher perk, if we wanted it, it would be 5 green points and 25 blue points. You get those from doing research at the church. Now another big gripe I have with the game is you can easily press tab to come in here and see these, but doing certain things will actually show them here. We're gonna have to do this one. So this is a physical action, so it'll give us red points. So if you look up here, there we go. So like this little thing pops out and it's very handy. And there's no option to have that around at all times, which seems totally bizarre to me because it takes up like a tiny little bit of room, doesn't obscure anything at all. It's got a lovely animation. I like the animation. I just wish there was an option to have it there at all times instead of having to go in here to check the numbers. A very, very bizarre thing that I really am surprised was missing. So like I said, the NPCs and quests is just one part of the game. You can choose to do all kinds of things, but in a certain way, you're not really allowed to choose. You're kind of forced to do almost everything in the game. Basically, anything you want to do in the game requires a shitload of materials, and there's so many different materials. And this is where we do all our materials. So if we head to the church, okay, here's the graveyard. I've buried lots of people there. This is my church. So here we go. We want to build things in the church. A simple little candelabra would take 6 simple iron parts. It's got simple in the name, it must be easy. They are almost impossible to get. At this point in the game at least. A church bench, it gives like 1 quality to our church. Takes 8 nails, also impossible. And 8 wooden planks, not too difficult actually. So like if you just wanted to do the church stuff, too bad, you're going to spend almost all of your time trying to gather all these materials. and then running out of the materials, and still having to gather more materials in order to prepare those first materials. It's crazy. Like, to get these, you have to gather, I think it would be 2 iron ore, which doesn't sound too bad, but then it takes 30 wooden sticks to turn 1 iron ore into 3 of those simple iron parts. 30 of these, and you might have noticed some dead bushes around. Those dead bushes give 2 wooden sticks. Shrubs give, I think it's 4, and you need 30 wooden sticks for one of these. So basically we need 60 wooden sticks, iron ore, to make 1 candle. It's crazy. Okay, this is the basement of the church. It's our alchemy lab. I think theoretically I should be able to study this key. And already it needs too much stuff. It needs more faith. Which actually luckily we can get tomorrow. But like, I don't know, I hope you can tell just how difficult some of this stuff is. Like, look at all these things we need. I think we got this from a quest. This you can only get once a week, and you get, I think I usually get about 3 a week. And you need this to basically do any NPC quest. Science, we're actually doing okay on science right now. Okay, let's go to bed. We have to, you can only get faith on this day, the purple sun day. So we gotta go wait until it's morning, and we can do a sermon in the church to get faith. While we're out here, the whole thing of the game was this donkey has a corpse in the back of his truck, and he would come along every single day. He'd drop off a corpse here. I'd pick up the corpse and take it into my morgue, and I could, don't worry about that little bit of skin, I could put it on this table and do an autopsy on it. I could take all kinds of body parts out of it, and then when I was done with it, I'd go and bury it in the graveyard. There's a priest guy. And then I think as soon as I opened up the church, the donkey came along and he said, "Whoa, now this game's not supposed to be easy or fun there, friend. If you want more bodies, you're going to have to give me 10 carrots a day in order to get more bodies again." And I haven't done any of the farming stuff yet because it's also really hard to get into. So that's just me totally locked out of getting bodies unless I decide to do the farming part, which is very, very hard to do. Okay, so because he's here, I think we can now do a sermon. So if we go up to our little book table, we'll select a sermon. This is like the casual prayer, it's just a basic sermon. So we're going to do a little sermon. I'd like to say some words. Dearly, dearly beloved gathered, hello. Our church is great. Oh, that guy liked it. He's given us one prayer, so we just need one more. So I think there's a 50% chance our little thing will work here. Oh, it didn't work. Okay. Your donations are welcome. Great sermon, everybody said. Nobody's giving a faith. They're giving a little bit of money on the way out. And my inventory's full. I've got a butterfly, that's nice. Let's get rid of those. I got 1 faith. So in order to do this quest I'm doing, which is basically for a quest that I got at the very beginning of the game, I have to wait another in-game week to be able to do another prayer again. Ugh. I'm basically doing all this stuff with the book, the diary, the key, the faith, everything, to do a quest for this guy, who you meet on the very first day as soon as you start. He basically says, hey, if you get meat, I can buy it from you, but only if you sell it to me with an official stamp. So I'm like, okay, great, that's a good way to start getting money early in the game. You just have to go get the stamp. And here I am, what, like 41 days into the game now? And I still am pretty much nowhere near getting this stamp. So I've got all this meat here, all this flesh that I've been getting from all the bodies, which I can't get anymore. I've had it since the beginning of the game, and I still can't sell it or make any money. So we're in the building tab here. What do I want next? I'd probably want a new machine to build. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'd need 200 red points. And like, I've got 56. You do not get it that quickly. Ugh. This is the farming area. I've already made a little plot here. I need to get a seed. The only way you can get seeds is buying them at a ridiculous price from somebody in the village. So I thought, oh well, that's just something that I'll ignore for the game. You know, I probably don't really need to do it. I've done a little bit of cooking, that's been okay. But you know, I'll leave it until I finish that basic quest so I can start selling my meat. It's exactly the same issue that Punch Club had. And it starts out fun, and then it just keeps getting harder and harder. And my will to play the game just fades and fades. Which sucks, because I was so excited for it. It sounded like it was going to be very Stardew Valley-y, and I absolutely hate it. It didn't even start out as fun as Punch Club because it is so incredibly confusing when you first start. For the first hour or two, I was just kind of like sitting here, like running around, trying to do things and not really understanding what I was doing. I don't know if you remember this, but for Punch Club, they actually had to add an easy mode to the game because it was so not fun to play. Eventually, like the whole thing in that game was like your skills would degrade throughout, like over time, and at some point in the game they would eventually degrade. So like you'd gain like 10 points in this one skill, and then you'd go to sleep and you'd lose 9 of them, which was insane. And it's so clear that this game is made by the same people that made Punch Club, because it's just, you know, the fun is just not there, just like with Punch Club. So maybe they'll add like an easy mode to this game, like a casual mode, to make it a bit more like Stardew, in which case I would probably try and play it again. But I've done like 4 hours in it. I'm going to stop recording this video and uninstall it. So unimpressed. I really hoped it would be better, because it sounded very, very promising. And this is a bad game. Anyway, that was my review of Graveyard Keeper from the same people who brought you Punch Club. I don't like it. That's my review. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!